call this August meeting of the Appomattox County Board of Supervisors to order. Please bow your heads for the invocation. Father God, we just thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight to go about the business of the citizens of the County of Appomattox. We just ask that you will guide us in our decisions. We ask for continued blessing upon all of our EMS personnel, the Sheriff's Department, the Fire Department, and our county employees who work diligently to serve the citizens of this county. We ask your blessing upon this meeting and safety for all of us in returning home, for we ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next we have the setting of the agenda. I'd like to make a motion to change the agenda by taking items from the action items, item 6 through 16. After talking with the county attorney, those items could be considered under the consent agenda without having to read through them. So I make the motion to move action items 6 through 16 to the consent agenda.
Second.
Mr. Carter, second. Discussion?
I was actually wondering about that when I read it today.
Ms. Adams?
If it's the pleasure of the board, then there's one other item to request be added to the agenda, and that would be the item that the sheriff sent out today about appropriating those funds to his budget.
All righty, we'll consider that after we consider this first. All right, on the motion to add action items 6 through 16 in consent agenda, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that amendment. Next one is to the sheriff has sent a message, email this afternoon about reappropriating some items in his account. Motion to add that to the agenda. It'd be under action items.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Mr. Reverend Jones has moved. Mr. Carter, second. Discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the amendment to add the sheriff's reappropriations to,
You want a copy of it before you?
yeah. All right, next, so that being it, motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Mr. Carter's moved to approve the agenda as amended. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Hibbs has seconded. Discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the amended agenda has been approved. We'll add the sheriff's reappropriation item to action item 5A. Or should, Ms. Adams, or should we combine it with 2 when the sheriff's up for discussion?
It's totally up to your discretion.
Okay, then we'll add it, we'll talk about it in item 2 when the sheriff's up to talk. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. All right, citizen comment period. This time is provided by the board to allow citizens the opportunity to address the board on issues of importance to the citizen. No individual citizen shall be permitted to address the board for more than 3 minutes. Are there any citizens which make comment? All righty, we'll move right into appearances. Appearances. These scheduled times are provided by the board to allow citizens and organizations outside the county government to discuss matters of importance with the board. Up first is Mr. Shannon Lewis, Forestry Manager, who's going to tell us about how much money the county made.
That's the important part, right? Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you for your time. I'm going to try to keep this fairly short. We had a really good year on the state forest compared to previous years. I'm just going to list off a few things that happened. Most of our management activities went well. We started working on 2 hardwood improvement projects, one of which will be used for demonstration in future educational programs. We also started creating a demonstration area along Walker Forest Road. So this will be a place where when we have tours, programs, or even just a landowner wants to come see a certain silvicultural practice, we can take them to, and they can see what it looks like and what's involved. The area that we're working on was a really good spot. It's accessible year-round. And again, we can see multiple practices from one location. We were able to treat several areas of invasive species, mostly tree of heaven. We let 17 acres naturally regenerate into upland hardwood with a large component of oak. Our tree planting was down a little this year at 79 acres, and that's a result of sales being down in years previous. However, we've already scheduled more than twice that for the upcoming year, and our timber sales went up. For the first time in a while, we were able to sell timber at a level that's consistent with our management plan. So for Appomattox this year, we basically took in $260,057.95, and that results in a payment to the county of $32,507.25.
Let me see if I understood that correctly, Mr. Chairman. Coming back to the county, it's gonna be how much?
$32,507.25.
Great.
Is there any questions about the information I've given, or?
Reverend Jones?
Mr. Chairman, I had a visitor that landed on my windshield, and I took a picture of it, do that Google thing, and it said it was an invasive species.
Spotted lanternfly?
Yeah,
maybe?
that's exactly what it was. I left my phone at home.
Yeah.
So how are we doing it? Yeah.
Yeah, so they tend to attack a lot of fruit trees. I don't know that there's much that you can actually do about them
Okay.
at this point in time. It's suggested to stomp them or get rid of them if you see them, but they're spread to the point where I don't know that we can do much with them.
They instructed me to kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did the right thing.
Yeah.
They're very pretty, but we don't want them
Yeah.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Hibbs?
Funny he said that, because I was going to ask you the same thing. Is the reason that you're spraying the tree of heaven because that's the host plant of those, or is it just because it's invasive in general?
So tree of heaven, or Alanthus, tree of heaven is a common name. Alanthus is an invasive species. I don't know, are you familiar
Yeah.
with it?
Yeah, well, I just know it's the host plant to those bugs too. So,
Yep, it is, along with red maple.
Okay,
But tree of heaven will essentially form in a grove, and it'll keep spreading and spreading and spreading. And what it does is competes with the native vegetation,
right, yeah,
and you can't get the native species back without removing it.
sure.
If you cut one down, you get back hundreds or
Like
more.
bamboo.
Mr. Chairman,
Any other questions? Let's go.
what about the Russian olive bushes?
Autumn olive,
They're pretty invasive,
they are. Those were once planted
I know.
in a lot of places for both wildlife and possibly for erosion control. They're tough. You can remove them. We've done a little bit of work to try to remove them. There's still a lot on the state forest that need to be removed. They're tough to treat because of the way they grow. So you can treat things, chemicals actually generally the best way to treat those plants. And your options are foliar or basal bark, or actually cutting it off and treating the stump. All those are pretty labor intensive, but there's several different ways that you can attack that plant.
I don't want to waste the board's time on this, but I used to volunteer a lot in Pennsylvania with the Parks Department.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things about the Russian olives is the fruit has almost no nutrition in it.
Yep.
And the birds and things eat it, and they actually, they actually starve.
A lot of invasives are that way. Animals will eat them, but they don't provide much nutrition.
Yep.
Any other questions? All right.
All right. Thank you much, Mr. Lewis.
Thank you for your turn, and I will bring you a check.
All right, next up, we have Sheriff Richardson, who requested to appear before the board to give us his annual law enforcement update. I thought you were giving us quarterly.
I always say it's quarterly. We haven't got annual yet, but this year is flying by. I always like going behind you, Shannon, just so you know. I request go behind you. Yeah. Chairman, board, thank y'all for letting me come up here. I just wanted to give you, I apologize for not getting the quarterly. We're more of the half right now, but this year has kind of gone by, which is a good thing in some terms. It means you're having fun when it flies by, right? So just so we're up to date, January of this year to August present, we have written 1,136 summons in the county. It's been 5 permitted county misdemeanor warrants served, 173 misdemeanor warrants, and 121 felony warrants. Any questions? Any concerns?
Any questions on the report? Right, but we will have questions about your other budget item. Okay, Ms. Adams, I understand this right. This is okay for us to do? It's, okay. The sheriff would like us to reappropriate, is that the right word? Yep. To line item 5410, uniforms, $2,000 of our FY budget line from the town into that, 2,000 into 5410 from the town, $2,000 in fuel from the FY, to our FY budget line 5408. Reappropriate academy dues, $1,000 of our FY budget line to 5801. And training of 2,000 to FY 25 budget line 5504, and K-9, $6,000. Money donated by the town in FY 25 to be appropriated to FY 26 budget 5812. Totals $13,000. I know we've talked about this a couple different times. Is there any questions from the board, or somebody want to make a motion to do so?
And just, Mr. Chairman, clarification on, and
Yes.
I apologize, I don't have that in front of me. I mean, obviously I wrote it, I know most of it, but not all of that money will be appropriated for the FY 26 budget. Some of it's going to be appropriated for the FY 25 to.
Yeah, that's why I said the uniforms, fuel, academy, training, all is FY 25.
Okay. I don't have it in front of me, I'm trusting
And
you.
the K-9 is FY 26.
There should be a couple FY 26s.
Fuel, I believe.
Okay, training to the FY 26, I see, yeah, right. So fuel to the FY 26 budget, and training to the FY 26, and K-9 to the FY 26.
Yes, sir, that sounds correct. Yep,
Thanks for that clarification.
yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Hibbs.
Do we have anything prepared, or to be safe, do we want to use, essentially use this for
According to,
the,
if I understand from Ms. Adams right, we can use what he's
use
got
the
here.
email? Okay. Well, that way we know the details are right, and you know they're right because you wrote it, right?
That's right,
All
yeah.
right.
I didn't bring it with me for detailed clarification process.
Is there a motion to this such effect?
So moved.
Mr. Carter has moved that we approve the reappropriation. Is there a second?
Second.
Reverend Jones has made a second. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Reverend Jones?
what do we need to do moving forward so we won't have these type of issues? What do we need to put in place?
Let's clear the motion, and then we'll get into that, Reverend
Okay.
Jones. Okay? All right. All right, hearing no other questions, Mr. Wolfskill. Reverend Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Carter.
Aye.
Mr. Hibbs.
Aye.
I vote aye also.
Mr.
Sheriff.
Mr. Hinkle, if I could address Mr. Jones's question, I would like to work with y'all and the town before the next budget year and come up with a common solution for everybody. I know we've kind of all been going back and forth. I think we come up with some good ideas, but I'll work with Ms. Adams and also the Mr. Campbell, the town manager, and come up with a common solution so that the town is okay with how the money is appropriated to the sheriff's office and that the county is okay with how it's appropriated to y'all, if that works for everybody.
Thank you, Chairman. And I got a couple of questions. I was listening to a town meeting from March where they were talking about buying you a car. Now, when they buy you a car, they do that directly, or they give the money to the county and the county buys the car?
Oh, it's this particular item, we sent them the bill and they paid for it.
Okay, and on the K-9,
They send it to the county and the county puts it in my budget.
okay, when they originally bought the dog, as I understand it, the town bought your original dog?
That's Sheriff Simpson was pre-me. I'm not sure exactly how those bills were handled, even though I was chief deputy. I didn't get to see the receipts when they came in.
Okay, well, anyway, my question is, why can't the town, like they're doing the car, if they want to give you $2,000 for uniform, they authorize you to go buy $2,000 worth of uniforms, you take the vendor to the invoice to the town pay it. The town knows exactly what their $2,000 was spent on because they know it was on 8 shirts, 2 pants, whatever. They know that the money did go for the uniform because they paid the invoice, and they could do that with uniforms, with academy dues, probably with training also, and we wouldn't have this go back and forth, and you wouldn't have to use sleepless nights wondering if the town money's in your budget.
Well,
And
I think,
also on the fuel, if the county, or the town wants to spend $2,000 on fuel for the sheriff's department, they could issue you a $2,000 fuel card, and you could just fill up your vehicles with that fuel card till the money's used up. And there again, it wouldn't have to be county pays for it, then we have not clear interaction between the town as to if the town actually got what they think they paid for. I mean, you do it direct with the car. Why can't the town do it directly with you on these uniforms, fuel, dues, training, and keep the county out of it so we don't have this back and forth?
I think it's a great option for me to converse with everybody to make sure that's the right option. You know, saying it right now that that's the right option sounds good off the top, but there's also some logistics behind the scenes of how this money's got to be spent as well and how it can be used. So I want to make sure before I say, yes, that's the option we're going to use, that I go with the proper people and see if that's the way it needs to be done or not.
Well, it seems to me there's nothing because they say, we're buying you a car, we're paying for our money. That's pretty straightforward. We're buying uniforms, we're paying for it. That's straightforward. I don't see where there'd be any complications.
Well, just like, there's no difference giving me a line item in it and me spending it, it's just like I do y'all's budget, same concept. So you could get a line item.
Be doing directly with the town instead of,
It's a lot of more hoops for us to go through, absolutely, instead of making one budget with the county and having different line items where I can spend exactly like I do now. So again, there's different options. I want to go through all those options to make sure we use the right one.
we do too, because when you talk about hoops, it's hoops for the county employees to go through to try to satisfy the town council that we're doing what they envision we're doing with their money.
Well, I think that's more of satisfying the sheriff, not the town council.
Well, I wish you'd convince the town council of that because they seem to think otherwise. Any other comments from the board? Mr. Wolfskill, you got anything to say on that?
I agree with the thought. If the town is concerned that the money's not going to the sheriff is concerned that the town money is not going to him directly, I would like to have the county, I'm sorry. I would like to have the county removed. I would like to have the town money, let the sheriff bill the town for what the town says they're gonna do. The town cut the check and leave the county out of it. This was uncomfortable. I didn't enjoy the email chains. This whole scenario was uncomfortable. Last month, it felt like Miss Adams was called on the carpet. Mr. Simpson put stuff on Facebook. This was uncomfortable. This should not happen again. Whenever the time is appropriate, I will make a motion that we create an ordinance or whatever it would need to be called, that the town's contributions to the sheriff be in such a way that the sheriff and the town deal directly with each other, and the county has nothing to do with it.
They're also county taxpayers as well.
They are. But this was uncomfortable.
It's unfortunate. You know, I completely understand where you're coming from. And I didn't mean to call anybody in the carpet, but I went through all my resources before coming to y'all to bring this to your attention. Now we're here to remedy the problem, to fix it. It may be uncomfortable, but it's transparency to the public.
And we were transparent. I don't know what wasn't transparent.
Let's go.
Okay.
Reverend Jones, you have any comments? Mr. Carter, any comments?
Well, kind of like Mr. Whipskill, that was the talk of the county.
Absolutely.
And,
No call for it.
yeah, we don't need that type of publicity.
Mr. Hips?
No, I didn't have anything to say otherwise. I don't care what we do. I just want Robbie to get his money, so,
I do too.
yeah.
Thank you.
I don't care how it happens. I just want it to happen. And B, that sounds like the most convenient path to do direct, but like Robbie says, there may be reasons why that's not the best, and, we'll flush that stuff out.
All righty.
Thank you all for your time.
Nothing personal with you, Sheriff.
No, and I do want to clarify one thing, that I, for one, never thought anybody in the county administrator's office ever did anything illegal or immoral with this money. So if that ever got brought up, I apologize. That's not what this was about. I don't think that happened at all. I just wanted to make sure we got clarity of where the money was at, how the sheriff's office can get it back. But never thought once that anybody in Ms. Adams' office did anything they shouldn't have done.
I think we all want it to be handled the easiest way and with full transparency.
Yeah.
So, all
Thank
righty.
you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Okay, next up is public hearing on Chapter 3.7-58, transient occupancy tax report and repentance tax. A duly advertised public hearing has been scheduled for the Emmaus County Board of Supervisors to receive comments on proposed amendments to Chapter 3.7-58, subsection G, related to the reporting to the Commission of Revenue for third-party accommodation intermediaries such as AirHub, Travelocity, Expedia, etc. The accommodation providers permitted to attest that they usually have third-party intermediary and that all retail sales are handled through the intermediary. Additionally, the accommodations provided must report any retail sales and remit such taxes otherwise required, not facilitated by the third-party intermediary. The code is being updated and processed in accordance with recent legislation passed by the General Assembly. Okay, the staff recommends, after receiving comments from the public, that the county attorney has prepared an ordinance for our consideration. Anybody for comment on the public hearing on the transient occupancy tax? Okay. Hearing none. County Attorney, do you want to brief us on the ordinance change?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is basically a technical revision to our ordinance in order to comply with newly adopted legislation that the General Assembly enacted this year, which permits Airbnb and the like to simply attest that a third party is handling all the finances, and therefore, don't expect us to send you any information. What's important to note is that this was a joint effort made by the Virginia Commissioner of Revenue's Association, which includes all the commissioners throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia, and in discussions with Airbnb to come up with an appropriate reporting process so that every locality can know just exactly how much money they need to be acquiring for these types of short-term rental properties.
Okay. All righty, based on the attorney's report, Chair would take a motion to approve the resolution or adopt the resolution, change our ordinance as printed on page 11 and 12 of the agenda.
So moved.
Reverend Jones has moved that we adopt the resolution, the ordinance amendment. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Carter has seconded. Any further discussion? All right, Mr. Wolfskill.
Aye.
Reverend Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Carter.
Aye.
Mr. Hips. All righty, the amendment ordinance has been approved as submitted on page 11 and 12 of the agenda. Next up is memorandum of understanding, amendment to the ladder truck funding and loan repayment agreement. The board forgave half of the loan in the amount of $225,000 for the Appomattox Volunteer Fire Department ladder truck at the July 21st, 2025 meeting. Attached for the board review and approval is the revised payment schedule provided by Mr. Jonathan Garrett, Fire Chief, to align with the repayment terms on the reduced fire truck loan. Staff recommends approval of the revised payment schedule and authorize the county administrator to sign the revised MOU. All right, is there a motion to approve the revised payment schedule and authorize the county administrator to sign it?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Carter has moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, discussion, there's, in case you forgot, it's page 14 and 15 of the agenda book. Any further discussion? Mr. Webskill, how do you vote? Reverend Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Carter?
Aye.
Mr. Hips? I vote aye also. The revised, or the amended ladder truck funding MOU is accepted, and the county administrator is authorized to sign it. All right, next up, NG 911 additional grant funding. The Virginia 911 Services Board has awarded the 911 Center a NG 911 additional funding grant in the amount of $150K. Mr. John Van Oy, Public Safety Manager, is present to discuss.
So on the screen, I got some pictures, and I gave you all some pictures too. Good news, bad news. Bad news is our furniture's breaking. Good news is I went out and found a grant to replace it. So I found a grant through the VDM, State of Virginia, for $150,000. It should cover the whole cost of replacing all that furniture that you see there in your slides that you have there and on the screens. Also on your last page is the items that I sent for estimates of what it costs to replace those things. And that's what they approved in the grant.
Mr. Hips?
Did you say you found the grant?
Well, yeah. They came out with a grant earlier
Can
this
you
year
teach
that,
others your ways?
well, just watch what they put out for you.
That's great.
So, but we just need you guys to approve us spending, redoing the center and approving us to be able to do the whole project. And also, when we take out the current consoles, there might be some damage to like the walls and stuff that we might have to repair. And I've talked to Jeff Shepherd about it. And Ace is going to do some cabling and stuff for us too. So a lot of this stuff's going to happen in-house. I don't know how we're going to pay for the
Okay, well, the board needs to appropriate to the FY 2026 budget the 3606-7013 NG grant of $150K. No new local funds are required, so it's just a matter of appropriating the funds to that account. Is there a motion to do so?
So I've moved.
Mr. Hips moved to, Mr. Carter, are you making a second?
I second.
All right. Any further discussion on the appropriation of $150K to the line item 36067013? Mr. Carter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Hips?
Aye.
Mr. Wolfskill? Reverend Jones?
Aye.
I vote aye also. Great job on the grant, John.
Yes.
Now we move to consent agenda. The consent agenda includes approval of all bills, minutes, supplemental appropriation, line item transfers, fund transfers. Any item of consent agenda shall be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any board member prior to the vote on a consent agenda. Items removed from the consent agenda shall be considered by the board individually in order in which they were removed from the consent agenda immediately following consideration of the consent agenda. Is there any items that need to be removed or discussed, or is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted?
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
Reverend Jones has moved to approve the consent agenda as submitted. Is there a second? Mr.
Second.
Carter has seconded. I took your body language.
That's,
Any further discussion? All right, Mr. Carter, how do you rule?
aye.
Mr. Hips?
Aye.
Mr. Webscale?
Aye.
Reverend Jones? I vote aye also. All the items on the consent agenda are approved. Next up, the attorney's report.
Mr. Chairman, the only thing I have to offer tonight is I went ahead and submitted the county's vote related to the Purdue Pharma opioid litigation settlement that has been announced. You may have read about it in the news. But it essentially is going to require Purdue Pharma and Sackler to provide $6.5 billion in opioid abatement funding to all the localities that have filed lawsuits against them, of which you were incorporated in as one of them. So your vote has been submitted to go ahead and approve it. I represent several other localities. They have done the same. The hope is that this will finalize this long, drawn-out, almost 3-year discussion with Purdue Pharma.
Okay, any questions for the attorney on the big pharma issue? All right, hearing none, let's go on to the administrative report. Ms. Adams.
Yes, sir, you've got the report before you. The only thing that I need to report on that's not, that's in here that I need to draw your attention to. So we talked about the Votex Center, and I put a note there from CVAC that they will be holding classes beginning next Monday. That will be Appomattox High School students that will be participating in the welding classes, and they're also holding the EMT classes there this fall.
Very good.
We plan to put out a press release jointly with CVAC so that we can get the word out to the citizens. Facilities Committee, I notated several things in there that you may want to look at. It's just a progress update on construction and projects with the county. And Animal Control, we have a new staff person. Her name is Amy Hong. The previous lady accepted a job out of state, and so she moved. So she had been working part-time at the shelter, and the officers felt like that she would be a good candidate for the animal control officer. We still need to plan a budget work session to look at capital improvement projects. So I'm not sure if you'd like to do that this month or look into September, or how you want to gauge that. We do have some information from the school system about the middle school. I think Mr. Tibbs would have to address whatever DOE has communicated with him, but he said he would participate in the meeting. And I included a couple of reminders, but I've also sent out the email to all the board members about that. Also, I know we've already talked about this, but the board asked me to come back with a report from the findings of what was in the email back at the last board meeting. And it had returning funds in FY '24, and I do have documentation from Sheriff Simpson that he requested those funds be put in his budget. And so they were supplemented into it. Now, the FY '25 budget, I think we've corrected those issues. We didn't receive the documentation. And there's also MOU that the town and the sheriff hold jointly. And that basically defines how the monies are to be used. But that MOU hasn't been updated from the one we've used previously. That one's dated January 2024. So what we'll need to do is, I'm not exactly sure, but the agreement's between the sheriff and the town. And the sheriff will make the request to county staff and to the Board of Supervisors of how he wants that reflected in his budget. If you'll allow me just a few minutes, I'd like to go over a few notes relative to that. And it's more, I think the board knows some of this, but I think it needs to be on record for YouTube video to reach out to citizens of how we treat our revenues and expenses so that there are no concerns about being shady or misappropriating or anything like that, or hiding funds.
I agree.
So it may be a little lengthy, but I hope it's going to touch on everything. Anyway, we are governed by the government accounting standards, and we do have a chart of accounts that every county in Virginia follows. So everything's line item appropriated, and that's the type of budget that the county does. The town's funding is reflected in the FY county revenue budget. 4 pages here of documentation of all revenue that you received at the beginning of the budget work sessions. This document, when I present you with a balanced budget, it's the same amount that's in your expenditure budget. So the board can do anything above that appropriation, but it's my job to give you a balanced budget. And so that's what we do based on our revenue collections. So it's been like this for 10 years during my tenure and the practice prior to me, but I can't speak to anyone that served prior to me. So I preface my comments on the fact that the town is required to have an agreement, an MOU, with the sheriff to provide town police services if they're receiving the 599 funds from the state. And to our knowledge, the only agreement that exists between the town and the sheriff is dated January 25th, 2024. This agreement does not have any verbiage about separate line items, tracking funds, returning funds to the town, etc. Therefore, no guidance was provided to county staff to change anything. We continue to do like we'd always done. County staff processes a request from a department head. In this case, it was the sheriff. And this is only an example. It's no verbiage against the sheriff in any way. It's just explaining to you what happens. When new line items are requested and funds be added to them, county staff cannot appropriate funds. And I think you may have read that. The request from the department head is sent to the county administration staff and submitted to the Board of Supervisors for approval, and then staff amends the fiscal year budget to add those funds to it. This request is either reflected when the departments submit their annual budget request, or if during the year by request, the department head will submit a request if it's something that come in mid-year. County staff did not receive a formal request for this action to add any line items or appropriate new funds to any of those line items of the town's contribution. So although the request should have been submitted in FY25, the sheriff is still allowed to amend the FY25 budget because it does not close out until the end of September. So any expenses, any revenues come in that's relevant to FY25 are put back in the FY25 in preparation for the audit. So your action tonight was appropriate. It's concerning, though, to hear or read the implications that county staff and/or Board of Supervisors are hiding money or something shady is going on. For those who may not understand how the county finances flow, I offer the following. The keeper of the county revenue for every county department, social services, and the school is the treasurer. She is located in a separate building, and the county has no oversight of her office as she is a constitutional officer elected by the people and not appointed by the county. Our office has no money. We cannot access the banking account and doesn't even have a petty cash fund. So we have no ability to hide anything or misrepresent revenue because we have nothing to do with revenue. So in order to pay a bill, it flows through many hands and sets of eyes. An invoice is sent to one of the county 20-plus departments. The department head signs off on the invoice and codes what line item it should be expended from. The invoice is brought to the county office. Wanda reviews the invoice and ensures that it is coded to the correct line. Janet enters the invoice payment into the accounting system, and the invoices are submitted at the board meeting for approval. Janet prints the checks and submits it to the treasurer, who signs the checks. When checks are ready, Janet mails them. I review and sign the check register as well as review the invoices to see if anything was overlooked. So we're going through lots of sets of hands to ensure that nothing shady takes place. So me and my office, nor the Board of Supervisors, has access to the banking account and don't have the ability to write a check. If someone is hiding money or being shady, it's definitely not county administration staff. And with that being said, I want to compliment our finance staff and the job they do. They are meticulous, they're conscientious, and they thrive to make sure that they do not do anything that would hinder their work ethics.
Thank you, Ms. Adams.
You're welcome.
And I might add that one of the things, when I was first elected supervisors, the people harped on was that they thought the county was mismanaging money. And one of the reasons that they supported me is I've got roughly 25 years in governmental finance, both at the federal and state level. And I know how things work. And that's one of the first things I did, was come in and review how the county was doing processing. And they were doing everything according to the book, dotting every I, crossing every T. There was no room anywhere in there for somebody to scam or hide or do something not legal with county funds. So it's like, folks, I'm tired of it. And I think many of us up here on the board are tired of these people out there who think they know more about governmental accounting than somebody actually doing it. It's just like the jailhouse lawyers. We got a bunch of jailhouse accountants out there. I appreciate what Ms. Adams and her staff do. They're excellent workers. They got nothing but the best for this county in mind when they do their jobs. Any other supervisor like to comment?
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I do too, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. All righty. Any other questions about the administrative report? All right. No reports or informational items. Supervisors' concerns. Mr. Wolfskill.
I have a praise.
Let's hear it.
Ms. Adams can correct me if I overstep. In July, our DSS office completed every report and every action on time. It's the first time in quite a time. And I think that's a blessing from God, and people are working really hard, and things have changed. It's just a wonderful thing. We're just really happy. And that's a praise.
Yes, it is. It's fantastic. Reverend Jones.
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Carter.
None tonight, sir.
Mr. Hibbs. All righty. I don't have a concern. I got a comment. I noticed that there's two prospective councilmen here who are prospective, wanting to be on this board. And one of the things that Mr. Carter taught me when I first came on the board is that you don't talk on this board unless the chair recognizes you. And I noticed that the city council don't seem to operate that way. They just seem to blurt out whenever they want. And so I just wanted to comment that anybody thinking about running for this board that's on the town council now, your behavior will need to change for this board. All righty. And that's whether I'm chairman or Dutch is chairman or Mr. Carter is chairman again. It's just, that's the Robert rules, right, Mr. Attorney? All right. Next upcoming meeting is September 5th, and the Lord willing and the creeks don't rise, that will be in the new courthouse boardroom. Mr. Carter, do you have a motion to make?
Mr. Chairman, I proudly like to say, everyone, please stand.
All right.